Hey, I'm Kevin.
I'm Janet.
We're Dalen and Carrie Shore.
Hi, my name is Mara Cole Taylor.
And I'm Ty Taylor.
Hi, I'm Scott Wadsworth.
And I'm Julie Wadsworth.
This will be 32 Valentine's Day together.
This is our 16th Valentine's. This year will be our 16th.
This will be our 12th married. We had 2 before married. Actually, I asked her out on Valentine's Day. It was kind of awkward.
That's a good one.
It was a good one.
18 Valentine's Days together.
17 as husband and wife.
This is our 13th Valentine's together.
Long time. Fun time.
Am I supposed to say I'm excited?
Should I say what I got her for Valentine's Day? So we were in San Diego on the beach. I liked her, but I didn't know what to say. So I was like, Julia, do you want to be my friend? And she looked at me and she said, we are friends, David. And I was like, no. Do you want to be my friend? And she just was like, we are friends. She wasn't taking it easy on me. And that was the beginning of a wonderful...
I wanted to hear what he really wanted.
I wanted to be her friend.
I really wanted to ask her like on the roller coaster, like sometime during the day, just to make it like a different kind of proposal, but I was so nervous. So it wasn't until the end of the day at the park, going back to the garage, that we got in the sky lift and I asked her there. Isn't that romantic?
And we're having dinner and he keeps telling me I'm thirsty and I need to take a drink. You're thirsty, you need to take a drink. And it was because the ring was floating in the bottom of the glass. And I almost choked on it.
What I thought was a great idea turned out to be almost a tragedy because she almost choked on the ring that was in the glass. So that just made me more nervous.
But it all ended very romantic and beautiful.
One of my perfect date nights is going dancing.
We love to go to Lawrence. We walked around Mass Street.
I love when we go to the Nelson Art Gallery and we walk around and we have a really good dinner and just great conversation.
I love going to New Theater. It's like one of my favorite date nights. You got a great play, incredible food, just Janet and myself at a table.
My perfect date night would be, we went to a nice dinner. It'd be great if it was nice weather outside, then we could eat out on the patio. And so have the nice dinner together and then probably go like stroll around the plaza. It would be a lot of fun. And then go get hot drinks and go home to a quiet house. And the rest of it's really not appropriate to talk about.
Texas Roadhouse.
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak. We like to stay classy.
For me, it's not a single date night. For me, it's every moment I spend with her is a date night because I always say I didn't date in order to get married. I married so that I can date. And so whether we're watching a movie, whether we're spending time with the kids, whether we're in church, whether we're driving, whatever it is that we're doing is just having the honor to share time and space with a woman that I feel like God created just for me and me for her. It's always a moment of dating for me, even right now.
Very well played.
Yeah.
And I agree.
My perfect date night is, usually it ends up to where we can just relax and talk, maybe get some coffee, rent a movie, take out, something real laid back. Julia just wants to be surprised. She was like, if I would come home and say I have a night planned, so it doesn't really matter what we do. And I would have to say my perfect date night, as long as it just ends. Well, you can finish that sentence. It really doesn't matter what we do beforehand as long as it ends with one tool or habit is if you know life brings challenges, you know things aren't always perfect in a marriage. I think we all can agree to that. However, we never go to sleep without resolving the issue. So we never go to sleep and wake up and still have something that's outstanding from the night before that we needed to work through. So I think more than anything, we just make sure that we talk through any issue or any problem that comes up that we want to go through. And then she just agrees with me and it works out perfect.
Definitely budgeting. And that may sound kind of nerdy and boring, but it's really given us a lot of peace when we make a plan for how we spend our money together. And another tool is that we try to embrace our differences. Dayland and I are probably as opposite as you can get, and I embrace the things that he has strengths in, and he embraces the things I have strengths in, and then we have a lot of grace for each other for the weaknesses that we each have, and just appreciate the different interests we have and what that brings to our relationship.
I think one of the things, and it's really important in today's day and age, I think, is just guarding our time together. And so we have always had a pretty regular habit of putting the kids to bed at a reasonable time, and then spending the evening together. So after the kids go to bed, we take some time together. And so just guarding, I mean, I think it's important to have individual interests and things that you do, but making sure that we take the time for each other and to have energy for our relationship. Very important is, I think, keeping a short account. And so being quick to forgive, being quick to talk about things, and kind of along with that, think of in a relationship, I've always thought of it kind of like a bank account. And so always trying to make sure I'm making more deposits than withdrawals, so there's something there. Bob Harrison we learned from him, I think, a long time ago about counting the positive things. And so whether something's good or bad normally depends on whether you're counting the positives or counting the negatives. And so just making sure that in the relationship, if you're having trouble or if there's kind of a time where you're feeling more negative, that you take some time to really take note of the positive things about the other person and count those things, focus on those things.
I think
One of the biggest things is we try to have fun in everything we do. We don't ever take ourselves too seriously. So I mean, you'll never see us fighting with each other in front of our kids especially, but we just try to put each other first in everything we do. I think that helps.
Name one tool or habit that you incorporate.
Sex.
Oh my gosh. You can't say that.
Why can't you? And you laugh so hard.
Is this just played at the conference?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to answer that again. I'm going to say the same thing. Number one habit, sex. Number two.
I don't have any habits.
See?
We raced our Corvette at 207 mile an hour on I-70.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
But that wasn't church worthy.
Skydiving and crazy fun stuff,
Bungee jumping. It was 120 miles around the mountain. But if you went across this little part of the mountain, it was 25 miles. And there's a reason why people don't take that shortcut. As we're traveling, it's a 4-lane road and we're having a 53-foot semi and we're traveling, and next thing you know it turns into a 2-lane road, and then it turns into a gravel road. And then next thing you know it, there is no road. And we had to have search and rescue come and rescue us off Mount Hood because there was this big old snowstorm coming.
Well, the scariest thing that we've ever done together is having 4 kids in 4.5 years.
Imagine that you're drowning, and having 4 kids is kind of like you're drowning and someone hands you a baby. Oh, we jumped out the Swiss Alps together. It's actually like being attached to a parachuter.
But they told you to run to the edge of the mountain and jump, like run and like leap off the mountain, which felt
the edge of the mountain's about 20 feet away, and you're on a hill. You strap up, and they couldn't speak much English, and they just said, run, and you just run over the edge. Lived to tell about it. Was that scary?
Not as scary as having 4 kids.
Yeah.
Well, on the honeymoon, we were out in the middle of the ocean, and we went snorkeling on a really small boat, and the boat was having a little bit of trouble. This is when we were 3 days into our marriage, and we were supposed to be at this Stingray City. There was only about 20 of us out there, and we were probably a couple miles into the middle of the ocean. That was one of the scariest moments we've ever had together.
Probably getting out and swimming with the stingrays was my most terrifying moment.
Yeah.
Or having your kids.
Yeah, every day with the kids about 6 a.m. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. If we really want to be real.
My spouse is gifted at so many things. And I take those words, I can re-say it because I...
No, that's fine, go for it.
Well, anyway, one of the things that comes to mind though is that he is very discerning. He is very wise, and he, there might be all of these things going around a story, and he can just like slice through the middle of it and be able to see clearly what the main point is or what really is the issue at hand. And so I appreciate that so much because I can get distracted by all of the other details around it and not be able to see clearly. The other thing I would say going along with that is that he is the best confidant also, because he gives people the benefit of the doubt. And so when I tend to want to tell him a story and have him side with me and say, oh, I can't believe that, he does not do that. He instead looks at it from the other person's point of view and gives them the benefit of the doubt. And it strengthens my character because I am forced to look at their point of view and grow, and also to be able to forgive or be a bigger person in the situation than if he were to side with me.
My spouse is gifted at really being a good friend. That's an important thing to me. Carrie's my best friend, and so she's a really good friend. She's an encourager. She's a great supporter, and also a good confidant. She's a good listener, and we really enjoy talking together. And so I think those are some of her great strengths.
My spouse is gifted at prayer. She is just a prayer warrior. Anytime we have anything that comes up, we usually go to Julie first in prayer, and she just knocks it out of the park. Second is my spouse is gifted at having a still spirit, which is something that I love about her, because I'm over here fidgeting and trying to figure things out, and she just is so calm all the time.
What is one thing my wife is gifted? I think that, first of all, in marriage, I think that a lot of times when someone gets married, they have this thought, what in the world did I get into? You know, there's surprises when you get married, and one thing I feel like I've always been blessed with is I've always had that thought, I had no idea what I was getting when I got married. Julia is somebody who has a way of bringing God into everything. I think that I knew I was getting a nice girl and a beautiful girl when I got married, but I didn't realize that everything that she does, everything she thinks about, from parenting to being a wife to being a friend, it always has to do with God. And I don't know if that is a talent as much as it is just who she is in her heart. And it has been what helps me be the man and challenge me to be the man that I'm supposed to be. And so I guess I would define that she's gifted at really bringing out the best in me, whether it's challenging me to be better or living a life for God that makes me want to be the husband and father I'm supposed to be. That's what I'd say you're gifted in.
As a husband, he overlooks my faults all the time, and I feel like he's so positive, and he sees the good in everything with our kids and parenting. There's just a lot of wisdom that is poured into that, and so that's huge.
I think that Kevin is most gifted in just his profession, at being a leader, and the way he's led our family.
He's an excellent dad. He's so patient with the kids. When I'm pulling my hair out, he just is calm with them. He can relate to the boys, particularly on a whole different level that I never can get to because he just gets them. Maybe it's a little immaturity as well as just testosterone.
I'm right on the kids level. So I just want to say that Antioch Church is just, they've given us our whole life. I mean, I came here in the spring of 2002, invited by the Funkhauser family, Kent, Melissa, Dan and Debbie, and I was just a lost little puppy, and I came to this church, and it took me a couple of months, and I'll never forget on a Sunday morning getting saved, and that night came back to the worship service on Sunday night and met Julie on the same day. So it was a pretty unbelievable day in that spring, and you know, that night, you know, I looked over and saw Julie. She was up there by the front pew worshiping the Lord, and I was watching her worship the Lord that night. It was pretty amazing, but we've spent 13 years here ever since, and Antioch's given us everything, so we're so thankful for it.